Hey guys, and welcome to another Factorio workshop. As always, I am joined by Madzuri,
Greetings.
and we have a very interesting build today. This is submitted by Jim, and this is a somewhat rail-based steel smelter, pretty much. But it's very clever. He does some very clever tricks. It's kind of bot supplemented, and then also utilizes a tiny bit of belt as well to actually minimize the bots and uses some other tricks as well, which are really clever. I'm gonna let you, Zuri, go over kind of all the inner workings of it and such here. So you can
Okay.
take away.
It's got all kinds of clever tricks and it shows a superb understanding of a lot of the mechanics in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So every single requester chest, I believe, requests the same amount, 100.
Yeah, it looks that way.
And then there's enough direct insertion and it chains along the steel chests and then inputs both from the steel and iron into a passive provider. And
Mm-hmm.
this and the it's wired to allow half a stack of each in that chest, so it doesn't ever jam up.
Yeah.
And then the steel is requested over here and then transported by belt between the networks,
Yeah, which
which
is
is a great way to subdivide the bot networks, which actually saves a lot more UPS.
exactly.
Then we get into the main network, and the steel is moved onto the trains. My only complaint here is that I would use the a third inserter per wagon, maybe even on both sides. I don't think these quite unload fast enough.
Yeah, it only uses the 2 unloads, so a train would be sitting here for quite a while. Putting a third inserter just into this passive provider would probably be good. But speaking of which, while we're here, he uses another really cool trick to pretty much have even unloading, but without any wiring or combinators. And you kind of understood this a little better than I did, if you want to just cover this part.
Sure. So it's actually making use of negative request amounts. Whenever every single item in the network is requested and called for, as soon as a requester chest can't or it has less than it's requesting, then it drips into negative. Negative total amounts available in the entire network.
Mm-hmm.
So when that happens, all of these inserters that are wired that way activate at the same time, and then they don't activate again until every single bit of ore that's in the passive providers are requested. So by maintaining a 0 buffer total, you synchronize the inserters by maintaining that they always have room to place and always have a place for it to go.
Yeah, exactly. So you notice that all the inserters are pretty much operating in sync most of the time. Once in a while, not quite, but overall, it's pretty even unloading. And actually, this one isn't, but that's my fault. I misplaced these wagons a little bit, and some of these inserters can't actually output. So that's my bad. If they were actually placed correctly, then the inserters would be synchronized like the ones you see over here. And then so he requests all the steel into this middle network, and it's then of course loaded from both sides into the middle train, which all come in from one direction. And this is for 242s, but it could probably be expanded larger. You would want to be careful though in terms of how big your train is compared to how much you can smelt. And I'm not sure you would really want to build like one of these setups bigger than it is. So 242 may actually be a pretty good size. And he does a thing with stations here is what he has is he's wired these stations to essentially just read if this signal is red. And if it is red, it turns on this station, which applies a 2,000 tile path penalty to the train, which theoretically should make it less likely to choose the station. However, Zuri and I were discussing before the video that we're not actually sure if that works or not. We haven't really tested it fully, and the devs haven't confirmed if it actually works that way, like how it's supposed to. But I
Or at
don't think
least
it hurts anything.
Yeah, I didn't get confirmation from the devs. They might have confirmed it somewhere on the forums or something. But yeah, I'm not sure if the 2,000 penalty is always there, even if the station is on or off, or if it's only there when the station's on. I am not certain.
Yeah, and even so, I'm not sure the trains always follow it. I've observed, and I'm sure Zuri's observed a lot of really silly train behavior sometimes. So
Yeah, it may not be the best idea to rely on pathing penalties like that.
right. So yeah, there it is. And as Zuri said, using these belts is really clever to bridge because it's only like 8 underground belts total in the entire setup to bridge the networks, and it saves probably a good, what would you say, maybe 100 bots or so, 150 bots that would otherwise have to move it.
Yeah, but that's another thing. The bot counts are really low. We're talking like, was it 120 for the edge ones and about 300 for the middle ones? And
Yeah.
that's it. That's not a lot.
No, that's not it. That's not much at all. That's like 600, maybe 650 total, and this thing produces 5,500 steel, which is definitely not a small number per minute for steel. And then I'm trying to think anything else to cover. So this, I mean, it's a little confusing at first to look at. It pretty much utilizes direct insertion and bot movement. Like we said, it's bot supplemented. So it kind of combines the two ideas, which does make it very interesting and pretty darn efficient. This is a very UPS friendly build for sure.
Yeah, one of the major factors for keeping it UPS friendly is minimizing bot network size. Since I think last time I calculated it, back in the napkin style, it was something like average bot travel distance squared is the UPS cost of using bots in that network.
Right. So yeah, having these smaller networks divided is much better than just having a huge network. And it also, I think, kind of allows the bots to move around a little bit better, just in general. But I think that's about it. Is there anything we missed? Anything else you wanted to mention for this, Zuri?
No, other than this one gets gold stars.
Yeah, really nice build here. Some very clever tricks. Great job on it. As always, the blueprint will be in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. And just one last note, we didn't mention it, but I'm sure you guys noticed, it does use 4 ore trains and 1 steel train, which is pretty darn close to a really good ratio in terms of ore to steel. So very balanced there as well. But yeah, I think that's going to do it, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any thoughts, comments, leave them down in the comments. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like. And until next time, we will catch you later.
Later.